What up, everybody? I finally got to watch the Rebel Moon director's cut from the one and only Zack Snyder. I knew there was a director's cut version coming out, so I did not watch the PG-13 version that came out like last year. I just wanted to wait and watch the real version. And before I actually start the review, y'all need to stop blaming Zack Snyder for everything. It's not his fault that Netflix was the the one that said, let's turn this into a PG-13 version so it can appeal to more people, maybe younger people, so they can get more viewers because it's based off a famous book. And they did that. I mean, it's happened to him countless times in his career. Obviously, Justice League, Warner Brothers screwed him over, and this time Netflix wanted a PG-13 version, and then Zack Snyder said there was a director's cut and they would release it if there was enough hype around it, and sure enough, there was. Everyone wanted it, and we got it. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not his fault that Netflix wanted to, cut an hour out, take all the blood and gore out, take a lot of things out. Apparently, I haven't seen it, but that's what I've been told. So I don't really think it's his fault unless there's something else they're not telling us, and they think they'll just make more money doing this, but they probably will with both of them combined. So I think it's a pretty smart marketing strategy, but I didn't watch the original, so I don't know how much has changed other than the blood and gore. There's some reviews I saw on YouTube. Some people are saying this is like the Snyder cut of Rebel Moon. Some people are saying it's the exact same as the other version, just with blood. And I highly doubt it is the exact same because there's almost 2 extra hours here, and obviously blood and gore. But I don't know. I'm not gonna go back and watch the PG-13 one. I don't really have a desire to. But this, on the other hand, I really enjoyed it. Not just because of all the blood and gore. I think the characters were well done. Some of them could have been done a bit better, but for the most part, everyone brings something to the team, and they feel like they deserve to be there. My favorite aspect of this whole movie was the world building. I'm not a huge sci-fi guy. I mean, I like the alien movies. Like, there's not a lot of sci-fi movies I'm super into. I like Star Wars, but I've never been like a die-hard fan. So I was just interested to watch this and to see where Zack would take it, and that's another reason why I watched it. Is I really like his movies. You can bitch about the slow mo all you want, but it really doesn't bug me. I think it suits his movies. It makes the action scenes different. It makes them unique. It makes them stand out. And the transitions in this movie from slow mo to like real time is so seamlessly done, and it's really appealing to watch. A lot of people don't like it, but I do. I can only speak for myself. Um, I just really like the world building. I thought all of the set pieces, all of the different creatures, the robots, like there's so many characters that we meet along the way, and it's never too overwhelming. The movie's very well paced. It is 3.5 hours long. I did have to watch it in like 2 sittings, but the pacing was really good. I was engaged the whole time, and when you do world building in a big epic movie like this, you're not always gonna please everybody, but it was very simple. That's what I really liked about it. It wasn't overdone. The exposition wasn't overdone. The dialogue is very easy to understand. It's not, Shakespearean dialogue like they sometimes do. And they just have a really good amount of tension, a really good amount of action, obviously. But you're always going to these different planets. You're always going, just somewhere new. And it's so well done, especially for a Netflix movie. This looks really good. Definitely one of the better Netflix movies I've ever seen. Sometimes the CGI can be a bit wonky, but for the most part, it is. You can tell it's a Zack Snyder movie, and I just love the epicness of it. How epic it is, the scale of the movie, the scope of the movie, how how big it is and beautiful it is to look at. I think this would have been really cool to be a theater release, but whatever. I would have definitely went and saw it. But like I said, the world building here is definitely my favorite aspect of the movie, other than the violence. The violence, the fight scenes in this are on like a Deadpool and Wolverine kind of like. I think it's better than that actually. Um, just the amount of slow motion and the amount of wide close-up shots. There's a lot of shots that just start out from all the way out here and they just slowly zoom in. And Zach's always been a master of just capturing these epic big scale battles, and he continues to show why. It's just like the Snyder Cut of Justice League. It's such a big epic movie, but you never feel like it's kind of like a Marvel situation where everything just feels thrown in there. It feels really natural and it feels organic. There is like some really gross scenes in here that even I could barely watch. I was really shocked at how far and how violent this movie was, but I'm all in for it. I'm gonna watch the second part tonight, and if you haven't seen the PG-13 one, or even if you have and you didn't like it, I would still recommend watching this. I'm happy that I skipped out on that, and I just patiently waited for this. I had to wait a year, but not even a year actually. It felt like a few months. But overall, I would give this movie like it gave me everything I wanted. There is a couple of like faults with it, like character wise, but it didn't really bug me too much. I thought the actress did a great job. I liked the team a lot better than I thought I would. Um, and like I said before, the dialogue and the story, super simple premise, nothing too complicated. And the villain in here is very menacing. Funny enough, it's the villain from the first Deadpool movie, actually. We got Charlie Hunnam, or whatever his name is, of Sons of Anarchy, that played Jax. We got a lot of good actors here, and they all don't. There's a couple of them I wanted to have more screen time with, but the movie is so long, so I get it. But hopefully, part two, we can get a bit more time with those characters, and it's nice that both the director's cuts came out on the same day, so we can watch them back to back. Um, it just it was such an epic movie, and when you can pull something like that off, these big epic two-part movies, and still have your audience engaged and not lost in the dialogue or plot holes, it's a very niche and tight movie. It's really well paced, and I feel like Zack knew what he was doing here. And this is one of my favorite Zack Snyder movies. And if part two really lives up to my hype, this could be easily my favorite of his movies. I really like the Snyder Cut, but this was something I've never seen done before. I've never seen this kind of world building before, these kind of characters that we have, the kind of villains that we have, the creatures that we encounter along the way. Never really seen anything like it. And like I said, it never got too overwhelming. Even though there is a lot of characters, it was all very interesting and very well put together. So for now, I want to give this a 9 out of 10. It's almost perfect. I just wanted a bit more from the characters. But if part two can, put this all together, I think my rating would jump up by 1 to a perfect score, because other than that, I really had no complaints about this movie. I really thought he nailed it. He did a great job. Special effects are amazing, like I said, especially for a Netflix movie. It is very well done, and kind of crazy how much effort was put into this. Let me know if you have seen the other version of the movie, and I don't know, maybe one day I'll watch this, see what the differences are, but I know that the plot hasn't changed, but I do have a feeling there was a lot cut out. Like, there's almost a whole 2 hours missing, so it definitely has to be a lot more in depth and a lot more than just the blood and the violence. thank you everyone for watching, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with the part 2 review of Rebel Moon. And there's different names, there's different titles to these movies. Don't know exactly why, but maybe I'll find out in part 2. Peace out. I'll talk to you guys later.